Maybe just, Mr. President, on that issue, just hold on to that thought a bit, because if you look at the prices of fuel, what has happened is that we are looking at consumption. If I look at the last data, the last 3 months data, consumption of fuel has actually dropped to a 5-year low. And if you look at even KRA, the collection, they missed the target. They were off the ordinary revenue by about 31 billion Kenya shillings. So what is happening is, yes, on this end, you have a plan to collect taxes, but these taxes are not coming through to Kenya Revenue Authority. And on the other end, you are killing the economy because you have people not moving, consumption, because oil and electricity basically will tell you what is happening in the economy.
For your information, your figures are wrong, because if you look at the taxes that have been collected from fuel, they've gone up. That's the correct position. So the other taxes are the ones that they have not met the targets. And why haven't they met the targets? Because I gave them a very high target.
Mr. President,
because I wanted them to do much more than they are doing.
Mr. President, let's just take a look at the data.
So don't misrepresent facts.
Let's talk about
the correct position.
The data you have from the Kenya Revenue Authority, because they're the ones who collect the revenue in their report. In the first quarter, ended September 2023, the oil taxes, the target was 84.6 billion shillings. They collected 77.7 billion shillings. Similar period last year, it was 78.5 billion shillings. That's a drop of about 800 million shillings. So indeed, for quarter one, there has been a reduction. If you're to speak about the volumes, the same quarter, diesel in 2022, quarter one, it was 1.15 metric tons, 1.5 million metric tons. This time round, the same quarter, it is 1.05 metric tons, a reduction of 56,000 metric tons. For petrol, 770,000 for quarter one 2022. Quarter one this year, it is 742,000, a reduction of 28,000 metric tons. So there has been a reduction. The difference comes in because the taxes are higher, more expensive than it was last year.
That is not the correct position, my friend.
Those are figures from KRA.
Let me explain to you.
Okay.
We import fuel for Kenya, but 40% of that fuel goes to Uganda, Rwanda, and sometimes all the way to DRC. With the eastern DRC get fuel from Kenya, right? So when you look at the figures, you must know that there is a component of fuel that is not sold in Kenya, that is sold outside Kenya. That you must know.
Reports about the revenue, isn't it?
That's what you must know first, right? So when you are looking at the quantities and the numbers, you need to factor that into the equation, all right? And secondly, we are beginning to look at other alternatives. A lot more people now we've connected to electricity, people who are using diesel. In fact, this year, most of our thermal energy electricity generation has gone down. Why? Because we have moved the number of Kenyans on electricity from 2.3 in 2013 to now 9.4. So we have more Kenyans who are not using diesel. We have more companies. We have more infrastructure who are using diesel that now we have connected to electricity. That explains some of the reduction. If you look at
but this is a direct consequence from the Finance Act of 2023.
That's not the correct position. I am telling you
KRA is reporting,
more and more.
President.
Exactly. So why I'm telling you the quantities that have gone down is because more people are not using diesel, especially in the big companies. If you look at what we are saying, because we have made it possible for them to use electricity. We have reduced in certain cases electricity for industrial power, so that instead of them powering their mechanism using diesel, they are now using electricity that we are generating. And it is partly why we have connected more people to electricity.
Je, Mheshimiwa Rais, tukisalia tu kwa swala la bei ya mafuta na hii project ama tunaweza sema hii G2G deal ama mpango wa G2G deal. Azma yake ilikuwa ni kupunguza hata bei ya mafuta. did we achieve the required results?
Wewe ndio umesema azma yake ni kupunguza bei. Azma yake ilikuwa ni kuhakikisha kwamba number one, we have fuel. Because when I came into office, people were queuing in petrol stations for fuel. True? That was the case. Now, nobody is queuing in any petrol station. We have continuous supply. Number two, half the companies in Kenya, fuel companies, had closed down. Today, no company is operating outside the net. Every company has fuel. Number three, local companies were buying fuel in US dollars. Today, they are buying it in Kenya shillings. If you asked any Kenyan company that is selling fuel, our oil marketers across Kenya, they are very happy with the deal we structured. And number three, we have removed pressure on the US dollars. In fact, when I came into office, there are many companies who were considering relocating from Kenya. Why? Because if you can't have foreign currency to pay your dividends for companies that are not Kenyan, there was a backlog of almost 8 months of companies that had not paid dividends for their investors because there was no dollars in the market. Today, I have made sure that though the dollar is high, but it is available.
Mheshimiwa Rais, katika sikukuu ya Jamhuri ulisema kwamba uchumi wa taifa umeimarika.